Hi. In June 2015, I was diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. And what I was concerned about most was going through the chemo and the treatment rather than hearing that news. And anyone who's been through this process knows that it's not easy. I wanted to make videos as I was going through it, but I didn't really get the opportunity because I didn't really feel that great. But I wanted to share my thoughts and how I coped with it with people that are either going through it now or people that will be going through it, as more and more people these days seem to be having to face that situation, which is unfortunate. Um, so I've had 6 chemotherapy treatments. I've had one treatment of just rituximab, which is a monoclonal antibody to help fight my immune system, and I've got another treatment to go next month. So hopefully it should all be finished by Christmas time. Now the process is not easy. It's very challenging for yourself mentally and physically, and for the people around you as well. And I think sometimes it's harder for them to accept it than it is for yourself, as you just get on with it and you know that things have to be done. You have to go through the treatment, and that's just the way it is. So when you ask people on the doctors about how you'll feel with the chemotherapy, I think the standard answer is everybody's different. Here's a long list of possible side effects, but you'll know yourself what you feel. For me, each treatment was different. Sometimes I felt more sick than other times. The week afterwards, I felt pretty crappy. I was on a 21-day cycle. So by the second week, you start feeling a bit more human. By the third week, when you think you're starting to feel a bit better, you get zapped again with another treatment, and then it's back to square one. And the effects are cumulative, so with fatigue and tiredness and numbness in your fingertips and things like that, whatever the symptoms are for whatever your treatment you're getting and the side effects you get, they do get worse and worse. So I thought I'd make a little video about how I try to cope with it and trying to stay positive and keeping your mental attitude up, because I think that's the hardest part. When I first got the news, and I thought, this is going to be tough. How am I going to cope with it? I thought just treat it as an inconvenience, like when you have cold or get the flu. You'll have a few days of feeling rough, and you deal with it, and then you start to feel better, and you start doing things, and the days you feel better, do the things you enjoy, get on with life, and try to be as normal as possible. People always ask you, "Oh, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling any better?" That's always a difficult one to answer, because you always feel rough, and it's all relative to how you felt the day before, I guess. So for me, it helped to treat it as little segments, and I thought every 3 weeks I'm going to feel ill, and treat it that way rather than thinking of it as I've got 6 months of treatment ahead of me and it's going to be tough. Keeping positive is a tough one, because when you're by yourself, you start having all these negative thoughts about why me. I think I'm fit and healthy and I'm a good person, whatever else it might be. And they're hard times. And even when you have people around you and they feel a bit depressed by your situation, I think it's always good to remember that there's better things at the other end of your journey. And you're going through this to get better and think about the things you'll do when you get to the other side, and focus on those things, whether it's you're going to be healthier or fitter or do something good for other people or whatever it might be. So focus on that. And it's tough because everyone has their bad days, and I had bad days when you feel really down and you think, oh, you don't want any more treatment, because the chemo is worse than the cancer. For me anyway, and obviously there's cancers that are pretty more serious than what I had, and I consider myself lucky, and that's another way I thought of it, that I'm lucky that mine's not as bad as it is for some people, so I can get through this. And when you see others around you at the clinic who maybe not as lucky as yourself, and they're going through it, and that helps you stay mentally strong. I haven't really scripted anything for this video, I'm just ad-libbing and talking, so I don't want it to be too long and too boring, and when I think of other stuff to say, because I thought it'd be better just coming out naturally rather than scripting things, I'll try and post another video. But I want to keep the videos around how to help other people get through the chemotherapy and try and keep people positive and let them know that they're not alone, which is another important thing, because it is lonely even when you have people around you, because nobody else really understands what you're going through apart from yourself. So I'll try and post another video up soon. I hope this has been useful and helped somebody at least, even if it's just one person. It's helped someone, and I'd like to give something back, because it is life-changing, and you do see life in a different way, and you want to help others because it's not a nice thing to go through. Anyway, it's easy to say, stay positive, but stay positive. There's goodness at the end of the journey that we're going through, and speak to you soon.